Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is your Sunday live stream. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me this morning is my dude, Pat Fitzmaurice, and it's you. We're all hanging out here talking football. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Drop them below in the chat. Pat had his morning coffee and puka juice. He is ready to go this morning in week 4. We've got football already happening here. Amazing stuff. So we got the London games going on. Apparently, there's cartoon versions of them. My producer, John, was telling me that's very exciting. Toy Story versions. Sign me up. I would like a Toy Story version of us too. I feel like, Pat. I think the kids would love that. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Really, we used to have one for Dan Harris, right?
That's
Dan
true.
Harris
He
was
was
Woody.
Woody. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more Ham. I guess at the end, or actually, no, I'm probably the angry Mr. Potato. I'm Don Rickles at the end of the day. I think that's probably more accurate. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good comp, Joe.
All right, we're going to go through everything here, take you through your starts and sits, your questions you got. I don't care what the questions are. You drop them in there. We're going to answer them today and do our best. Make sure if you haven't already, you subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. We always appreciate when you do because we're giving away free stuff. And this week, another cool thing we're giving away is that Trophy Smack Bling Ring. If you haven't seen this already, it's gorgeous. Check it out. All you have to do, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment question below. That's it. That's all you got to do. Don't forget, click that little bell till it goes ding so you can win the bling ring. Man, I'm just dropping bars this morning. Again, we teamed up with Trophy Smack to bring you this epic giveaway to take your league celebrations to the next level. So subscribe to the channel, comment below, and you'll get a chance to win it. It is a glorious piece right there. So subscribe, comment, and the bling ring could be yours. All right. And Pat, I think we got to start with some of the who's in and who's out, the news of the NFL. That's probably the smartest thing here. We know Jimmy Garoppolo is not playing today. So we're going to, it seems like, get Aiden O'Connell. Originally, it was Brian Hoyer. But again, no offense to Brian Hoyer. He's our age. He should not still be an option in the NFL. Like at this point, I don't want to see somebody else play. I want to see Aiden O'Connell play. What does the impact that has on this game here, in your opinion, here in Las Vegas for the Raiders?
I'm still playing Devontae Adams, no matter what, Joe. I'm still playing
Okay.
Josh Jacobs, but I guess really the only guy to me affected. I think this makes Jacoby Myers maybe a little less attractive. He's been getting a lot of targets with Jimmy G, but I don't know if that's going to continue today. And we just don't know about the quality of those targets for a first-time starter. Like, I'm excited. I want to see Aiden O'Connell too, but we have to realize it could be rough in his first NFL start.
Doesn't look like we're getting Austin Eckler this week. Mike Williams already out. What does the Chargers offense look like besides Keenan Allen now? Like, is Donald Parham a guy that, like, you're desperate for a tight end stream? Does he have that red zone equity? Do you have Josh Palmer in lineups today? I know QJ is everybody, somebody everybody loves, but it doesn't mean he's startable yet.
Right. QJ we're only going to see him in 3 receiver sets, and maybe that's enough. I mean, it's certainly more than he has been playing. So, and this is a guy capable of making big plays for sure. Really, QJ is the total package, just the hands are a little bit unreliable. So I think he and Palmer are viable plays this week, sort of wide receiver 3 flex play type guys. And I do think there's maybe some playability with Donald Parham, Joe. If you're desperate at tight end, and let's face it, a lot of people are because the position is a dumpster fire, like Parham is getting red zone targets. So like it's weird. You could play probably either of the Chargers tight ends against the Raiders.
He is super cheap on DraftKings. He's 2,800, folks. So you score a touchdown at 2,800. It's all gravy after that. One more big injury, or I should say 2, same injury, 2 different guys. Austin Eckler, doubtful for today. Kind of surprising, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised. And I know they keep saying Saquon is doubtful, but a game time decision. Come on, we all know what that means too. So again, no Saquon, no Austin Eckler. Apparently, Devon Achane is going to get more workload today. Do you think you're going to see that be a thing? And could he maybe approach 100 yards and be the solution to all these Eckler-Saquon problems?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the success rate is on those reports, Joe. Like, and it's not that I doubt the reportage of Schefter. I'm sure Adam Schefter has all his facts right. It's just I don't know what the rate is of like a team telling him they want to use a guy more and that actually happening. I don't think it's totally bulletproof. Like I think we've been let down on that before, but I mean, I still don't think I'm ready to put him ahead of Raheem Mostert. I certainly don't take that to mean he is going to usurp Raheem Mostert in his role as sort of the lead back. But Man, this is an exciting offense. Like, it's on
Mhm.
a pace to do historical things, and, like, I don't know if we've seen an offense this potent since the greatest show on turf. Like, even the recent Chiefs of recent vintage have not
Mhm.
matched some of the crazy efficiency numbers the Dolphins offense is putting up so far. So, like, I think you play HN for the most part, and if you can get him into lineups this week as an RB2 or a flex.
There you go. All right, let's start getting to your question. Let's start with Jeremiah Bobo. Richardson or Stroud? This is a good question. Stroud's played really well. Richardson coming off that concussion protocol, but I lean Richardson here, Pat. I mean, I want that rushing equity. As great as Stroud is, it is still the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and I'm trying to give them some credit. Maybe not in the secondary, but I still start Richardson. What say you?
Yeah, Richardson. I mean, we have seen him really produce on the ground. And Stroud, I'm just worried he's got three of his starting offensive linemen on injured reserve. And another, the best of the bunch, Laramie Tunsil, also going to miss this week, going against the Steelers defense that leads the NFL in sacks and is third in pressure rate. No thanks. I don't really want to play Stroud this week.
G Wiz wants to know Dalton Kincaid or Logan Thomas. Now, I've heard the arguments for Logan Thomas here, especially the DFS community of worlds, but again, that total much higher, the ability maybe for the offense to play better on the Buffalo Bill side. So where do you land on Kincaid and Logan Thomas?
I actually think this could be a good game for Kincaid today, Joe. The last
Mm,
time the Bills faced a Vic Fangio defense, Cole Beasley really went off as the slot guy. I think he had like
right.
8 or 9 catches and over 100 yards. Kincaid's the slot guy now, basically, for the Bills offense, or at least the primary slot. So, I think the Dolphins want to kind of funnel things underneath on defense, and that could work out pretty well for Kincaid. So I think I'd rather play him than Thomas coming off the concussion.
Jess has a problem here. Jess Dabs. These are all pretty good options, Pat, for a flex spot. Sutton, Tutu Atwell, or Tank Dell.
Man, I can't believe that, Atwell is the can't sit guy now, but, he's seeing
Oh, is he?
10.
Is he the can't sit guy for you?
I
Okay.
think he kind of is, Joe. He's had 10 targets in 2 of his first 3 games, and,
But
I don't
Sutton
think
is playing the Bears. Just want to
he
say, like,
he is playing the Bears, and the Bears have I know this is a nice problem, for him to have, but, I still think Atwell a little more like, the Rams just they're not a running team.
mhm.
They need to throw. I think, there's a really safe target floor here for Tutu Atwell.
Jess, you've done a really good job of hitting the waiver wire here, and you're going to be rewarded come bye weeks. Like this is a problem
Yes.
now, but in the next couple weeks, you're going to be very glad that you have this problem. I think I would lead Sutton because I think he has more touchdown equity, but it's still a really good problem to have. Let's go with Jonathan, Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens in standard league. Who would you rather start this week?
Oh, man, that's really
Got to be
close.
Ayuk, right?
I
Really?
think so. I
Come
think so.
on,
But it's close,
Ayuk.
Joe.
It is
Wh
close. It's
Yeah.
close,
I mean,
but I got to go with Ayuk.
favorable matchups for both. The only thing is if Debo is gonna play, does Pickens have, like, a safer target floor?
Well, I guess here's the thing. If you're talking about a guy who, if he's going to play, like how effective can he be anyway? And how much do you
Good
want to
point.
press him in a game where you might have the lead? I guess that's my perspective when it comes to Ayuk. I see what you're saying about Pickens. I don't dislike Pickens, but I think it's Ayuk for me. I'm going to
Yeah,
go with Purdy's play too over. At the end of the day, standard leagues is about scoring that touchdown. Like, give me Purdy. Like,
good point,
look
Joe.
good.
When in doubt, go with the better offense. I'm with you there.
All right, Kim's got a great question here. Kim Carpio, Zach Moss, or Devon Achan. John's so proud of me. It only took me a week, but I can say it right. I know he's like glowing with pride. He's like that dad is like, that's my boy. He finally did it. I have to go to summer school next year to, you know. so Achan or Zach Moss. I mean, I guess if you're looking at the numbers, it should be Moss, right? But it's very sexy to want to start Achan.
I know, and I am going with Moss here, and, boy, A-Chan is gonna take some getting used to. A-Chain is such a cool name, but
Well, here's the thing I don't get, and this is like a phonetics thing. If you have the hard sounding, the long A sound, the A sound, why isn't it a chain? Because it's A in the whole name. It should
right.
be a chan or a chain. It can't be both. You can't do both. Like that's asking too much.
I
I
know.
know that's logic, and nobody likes logic. Yeah, but I mean, come on, right? You're a
Yeah.
wordsmith, Pat. You're a
I'm
man
with
of
you.
words and using, right? Am I
I'm
right
with
or
you,
am I wrong
Joe.
about that?
Totally with you on this.
I love Pat. It's great to see Pat
So
here on Sunday morning,
thanks,
getting up
buddy.
early. All right. Let's go to meanwhile. I've
Moss.
been up since 6:30. Moss for all of us, but
Yeah,
what do you think?
so volume on Moss, just the fact that Moss is not coming off the field at all, and not only are the Colts using him in the running game, they're throwing to him. Like Zach
They
Moss
are.
is getting targets. It's been like a huge value spike, and it's kind of interesting because Moss, his value could turn to dust next week if we see the return of Jonathan Taylor. But in the here and now, with the Colts having kicked Deion Jackson to the curb, like this workload is pretty much all Moss.
What does the Moss situation look like as we turn the page into, okay, Jonathan Taylor's looming? Like, are you somebody that's buying Moss or selling Moss? Like, I feel like this is a very interesting question because if Taylor's gone and Moss keeps up this pace, I hate to say this because this is crazy, but he almost becomes a league winner.
Yeah, I mean, until we know that Taylor's coming back, I think you're just holding to Moss. You don't want to give him away because I think people in the trade market are going to have the expectation that Taylor will return and Moss will take a significant value hit. But if that doesn't happen, you're selling a really valuable asset for pennies on the dollar. So I think you're just riding this one out. And if he loses his value while he's on your roster, so be it. But I think I'd rather suffer that fate than trade a truly valuable asset way too cheaply.
Understandably so. All right, let's continue on with the questions before we get to the next one, too. I want to remind everybody as well that we're brought to you by, of course, Jack Link's protein snacks. They are delicious right here. Okay. I have hardly anything left in this one. I need to go get more. You could see that's like what you see the Yeti there. You see how strong and powerful he looks. That's how you feel when you have the protein snacks. I went on for a walk yesterday after our flag football game. I came back. I was hungry, and you know what? I want to eat better. I want to be get that protein in. I want to get swole like Andrew Erickson. I went right for the Jack Links. I finished the rest of the bag I had left of the teriyaki. All I got left now is the pepper and a little bit of the original left. I need Jack Links to send me more. You can go check them out yourself, by the way. If you haven't already tried them, you should. Again, 100% delivers the beef and a wild assortment of delicious flavors. It's what you need to help feed your wild side. And obviously, we all know we've got the wild side here. So shop jacklinks.com, or you can find them at your local grocery store, your retailer, wherever you might go. So it's a great protein snack. They're delicious. Like, you've had the different beef jerky, beef snacks. It's all about the Jack Links right here. Again, empty bag almost. I've got like 3 pieces left. I need more. I'm going to have to go pick them up at the store. They're excellent, though. Go try them. Let's get to the next one here on the questions. Again, drop your questions below. Don't forget to like the stream, too. It's a very simple thing. Like the stream. It's a good time. Let's go to Clutch, Atwell, or Garrett Wilson, the PPR. This one's easy for me, Pat. I think you're going to say the same thing I'm thinking. Go ahead.
No, I've Garrett
Oh,
Wilson ranked higher.
no!
Yeah, it's
How?
a couple spots higher.
Do you know that the Jets have the lowest percentage in the NFL of scoring on an offensive drive? 22%. I
I
learned that
realize
this
it's
week.
been bad. I
You
know.
want to know what the number one team is? The Miami Dolphins. You want to take a guess what that percentage of drives that they score on?
Oh my God, it's going to be sky high. It's got to be like over 70%, right?
No, it's not quite 70. That's ludicrous. Remember, every offensive drive, they touch the football to have scoring points. 58. But still, that's an
Wow.
enormous
Wow.
number.
Yeah. Oh, no question. I mean, the Dolphins offense is pacing to do historic stuff.
I know last week certainly helped that pace, but still, like 58%, that's terrifying. The league should be the Buffalo Bills defense. I can't imagine got much sleep this week.
No.
So we're going to see what happens there. All right, let's continue on with the next bunch of questions here. Cody Davis, I would start Atwell, by the way. There, Zach Wilson ain't finishing this game. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm telling you right now, all the local New York media, they're like, if it doesn't look good, the Jets are going to make a change here in the game. Like that's already popping here, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So that seems to be the buzz around things where everyone's like, finally, enough. The pot is full. Cody Davis, pick one to bench, full PPR. Kyron Williams, James Conner, Josh Jacobs, Brandon Ayuk. Who is the odd man out?
I think it's Connor. It
Okay.
just the matchup. I mean, we
Sure.
like that there is safety in that workload, but we even though we know it's going to be 15 to 17 carries most likely for James Conner, it could be 16 carries for 37 yards and no touchdown. So yeah, I mean, he's a pretty easy sit compared to the other two running backs, and I think I like Ayuk a little more also.
All right, there we go. Hold on. This is breaking news. Wait. 1 minute ago. That's how fast it came out there. Boom, my playbook. This is why you have my playbook. More on that in a second. Saints quarterback Derek Carr will start today. despite the AC joint. How about them apples, Pat? I did not see that coming. Did you?
No, I thought they'd give him a week off, to
That's
be totally
shocking.
honest. It
That's
is.
a painful injury. Like I had the sprained AC joint. I had to get that cortisone shot right in the bone. That's the only thing that made it feel better. I'm shocked that he's going to play this game. So a lot of Alvin Kamara today. Maybe some Taysom Hill. Maybe. Just saying. Could be. Could be a little Taysom Hill action. And take some pressure off him. All right, let's get to who's next here. Let's go to Keisha Bible. For flex, I don't know who to start in half point PPR. I'm between Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell, or there we go. Is it Devon H. Han? There you go. Now there he goes. I was saying Devon, but I'm used to like the Dudley boys. Like I'm a wrestling guy. So I see that, I go Devon. So Devon H. Han, Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell. Who do you start in a half PPR? It's a
Get
good
the
problem to have.
tables, Joe. Get the tables. Let's go Devon HN here
There you go.
over the diminutive wide receivers.
There you go. Explosiveness. You know what? You mentioned the diminutive thing. The league is changing, folks. You know, with the rules, and you see these guys, these are guys that would never even get looked at the NFL level. But because they're so fast and because they've got these moves, like it is becoming a faster game, it is becoming a game that you can be a 5'8" wide receiver like Tank Dell and play in the NFL. I don't know how long you could play, but you could play, which is a stunning turn of events in the last couple of years. Steve Slawbaugh, I got a good Slawbaugh, eh? You know, it sounds like something you get like, it sounds like you're in the Midwest. That feels like, you know, you order a sandwich, you get a side to get a Slawbaugh on the side, I feel like, right? The diner.
That's isn't that Primanti Brothers in Pittsburgh?
You
You
got a
get that
Pavani
right on the
Brothers, you get the
sandwich?
Pavani Brothers,
Yeah,
you get a
Primanti.
Slawbaugh on the side there. Yin's guys go over and get that. But you guys have done, like, I know this is a dumb question. Like, I'm in New Jersey, the capital of diners. Like, diners are like a thing in the Midwest too, right? You got a lot of diners out there or no?
No, we have like where I'm from, Joe, Wisconsin, supper clubs. Supper
Supper
clubs. They're
clubs.
yes, restaurants that have
Ooh.
bars where you can get a nice old fashioned with your
I make
meal.
old fashions now. I taught
Oh,
myself this summer how
delicious.
to make them. So I'm very pleased. It was my drink before it was cool. Like all these hipster doofuses out there drinking old fashions now. Where were you like 15, 20 years ago when I was drinking them? I'm glad you called on. Do I have to wear this jacket to the supper club? That's the big question.
Yeah,
Okay.
it helps. People get dressed up for the supper club.
I'm
Absolutely.
in. Let's go. I'm getting on a plane right after this coming to your house. Let's go to Slawball's question. Josh Kelly or Damian Pierce in the half PPR? Gross.
Yeah. Oh man,
Gross.
I've been shuffling around Josh Kelly, Damian Pierce, and Rashad White restlessly for the last 3 days. To me, all those guys are like put the names in a hat and pick one out. I mean, honestly, I can't make a case for either convincingly. I do think it's a coin flip.
I'm going to flip it to Josh Kelly's side because Pierce and that offensive line have not been good. And the Steelers defense front, at least, I'm still looking at. All right, let's go to Super Trooper YT, Rashad White or Javante Williams in the full point PPR.
Javante.
Yes.
Even if the volume is capped, even if they're not going to give him 20 carries coming off the ACL surgery, I just like the matchup and the game script potential for the Broncos today.
By the way, just going back to that, the over under for the attempts for him this week went from 12 and a half to 13 and a half. I think it's time, Pat. Like the training wheels have to come off of Javante Williams here. I mean, what are we doing? They're 0-3. The Denver Broncos are playing a team that's actually worse than them. They're not going to find it again. Like you need to get this guy the football and stop this. Like you're irrelevant already. You can't lose to the Bears. Like this is just right. Am I right? Like it's Javante season, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Joe, they're probably playing the long game. Like the Broncos know they're not
What's the
going to.
long game? One and
Well, I'm
eight?
just they're not challenging the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Bills.
No.
They're just too many good teams in the AFC for the Broncos to have serious Super Bowl aspirations. So you might as well keep one of your primary offensive assets healthy for the long term, I guess.
All right, fair enough. Let's continue on here. Let's go to Anthony Riccia, one of our favorite OGs in the chat here. DJ Moore or Tank Dell, full PPR. Needing a win, 0-3. 0-3, I'm throwing it against the wall with Tank Dell.
I'm going DJ Moore. Like I think he's the better
Okay.
player, and like he hasn't
He is the
been
better player. You're 100%
right.
right, he's a better player. The question is the Bears. That's the question. Like, how many times can we keep saying, well, Justin Fields? Like it is. I know I saw Chase Claypool ain't playing today. I did see that. Did you see that?
Right, right. So I mean, I think DJ is probably going to have a massive target share today, and this actually worked in training camp in the preseason. The Fields to Moore connection worked. I think it will work. I mean, Moore should have had a bigger day yet last week, but he dropped like a 25-yard throw that was right in his mitts. So, um, I still think he is the superior player. And we talked about Tank Dell and the problems the Texans passing game could have against that Steelers defense with a really injury laden offensive line.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next one. Sal Bruno, my people. Should I start Zach Moss over King Henry at the RB2 as well as Debo over
Ugh,
Tank? Look, if Debo Samuel's playing, I can't start Tank Dell over Debo. Well, let's not get
same.
crazy here. But the Zach Moss one and Derrick Henry. Now, the Derrick Henry rushing prop is 66 and a half yards. I haven't seen a prop that low in him in a long time. My concern with Henry is that toe issue that I think was why you saw so much Tajay Spears last week. Like, if that's the turf toe, that's going to be a couple weeks. I don't know. It's very tempting to start Henry this week, but Moss has been, I hate to say it, better so far. What do you do here?
I have to go with Henry. I'm not ready to buy into the Henry is washed narrative because he has faced a couple of really good defenses, including the Browns, who are just they've been lights out. So I'm still riding with Henry here, and I agree with you completely on Debo. You have to stick with him.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff we're considering, but I get it. I understand why. And Derrick Henry is a slow starter too. I think we've seen that in the past too, where September is not I always say when the leaves fall, that's where, Derrick Henry starts pushing people around. And it's not the first time it's happened. He's been a slow starter many times. So I think you got to be patient there, but I understand if you're 0-3, there's a lack of patience. I'd say this, Sal, if you're 0-3, you start Zach Moss. Like, I don't think you could take the risk right now of whatever Henry is. AK Fields or Stroud? So another question here. Now, this one, I'm okay with Stroud. How about you, Pat?
No, still Fields for me.
Still Fields for you?
He's going to run more, Joe. Like he's only on pace for about 600 rushing yards, which would be about half of what he got last year. 1,100 plus yards rushing last year. So, I think he's going to eventually start running a little more aggressively. And even though the passing game isn't going to be prolific for the Bears, I think it'll be more functional than it has been to date.
Interesting tidbit. Last week, I picked up Stroud and played him over Fields because I was done. Maybe it was like a knee jerk reaction. I don't know, but I'm glad I did because Stroud was the better guy last week for sure.
And he's really good, by the way, Joe. Like I'm not trying to dog
Oh
Stroud
no,
at
I
all.
don't
Like
think you are.
really exciting prospect. I just don't like the matchup against that Pittsburgh pass rush with their offensive line and in such a shambles right now.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Frenzy MS. Jerome Ford or Javonte Williams. Now Watson dealing with an injury. He looks like he's going to be playing, but playing through an injury. Jerome Ford's been solid. Last week was a really tough matchup, but he came up with 2 touchdowns. And Javonte Williams, again, it's the training wheels thing. Like, where do you want to go with this, Ford or Williams?
I want to go Williams, Joe,
Okay.
and it's not an easy call. There's only maybe a 4 or 5 person gap between them in my rankings this week, but I do feel a little bit better about the matchup with Javonte, the game script. I just think that Ravens-Browns game is going to be a rock fight. Like that feels like it's going to be a 32-point game, 17-14, something like that,
Oh, gross.
I
Yeah, I
know.
got 0 shares in
I mean,
DFS
it'll
for
be a
that one.
good I don't mind defensive battles, but yeah, you're not going to see the
That
scoreboard light
Cleveland
up in that
defense has
game.
been so good.
Incredible.
They've been so good.
Yeah.
Jared Bumgardner, happy game day, full PPR, start 1. Tank Dell or DJ Moore?
Man, we're getting a lot of Tank Dell, aren't we?
All the
Yeah,
Tank Dell this week.
back to more. It's back to more for me still.
Jared, if you're 0-3, I told you don't have to wait anymore. You start Tank Dell, like you throw it against the wall, see what sticks. I don't know. The one thing about the secondary of this Pittsburgh Steelers team, they are not great. They have not played good this year. Front's been good. Secondary, not so much. CSP, Superflex, full point PPR, Quentin Johnson or Gainwell for the flex.
There, I think I'm going Quentin Johnston.
Okay.
You just get some big play potential. Now that Gainwell's, I think the way you needed Gainwell to work would be if he got the volume. And it looked like he was going to get it at the beginning of the season. But now that the DeAndre Swift genie is out of the bottle, the volume is not going to be there for Gainwell. So go with the big play potential. I think Quentin Johnston is going to see like 70% of the snaps today, which is a big upgrade from where he has been when Mike Williams was playing. So, 70% of the snaps in a really, really good offense in a good matchup, like that could pay off.
Certainly could. All right, next one here is from Love is the Answer, Pat. And isn't that true to all the questions?
Yes.
Love is the answer. John knows that. Mims or Kendrick Bourne? Now, Mims is intriguing because, like, at what point again, you're the Denver Broncos, you're Sean Payton. At what point do you start saying, well, let's try some new things? Because what we've done is not working. And I don't know why my dander is so up about this, but I was on a rant this morning on the TV show about this on Sports Grid. The Denver Broncos, like, you better figure some stuff out fast because that team has way too big of an investment into a lot of players to be this bad. I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, Mims is just the efficiency, like yards per route run and yards per target, just off the charts so far. But the problem is that he's playing like 16 snaps a game and running like eight or nine routes a game. Like you just can't count on that for production. Like it's worked so far, but man, the odds of that paying off. So, and we just don't know when the role is going to increase. But for now, Peyton seems hell bent on giving snaps to Lil Jordan Humphrey and Brandon Johnson and guys who should not be stealing snaps from Marvin Mims. So until we see the usage tick up, I don't think you can trust it. So I'd rather go Kendrick Bourne.
Lil Jordan Humphrey. I wish I was Lil Joe Pisapia just once. Like, hey, John, maybe the what do they call it? The Chiron, the A
Cryon.
chain. What do they call it underneath?
Cryon. Is
The
that it?
Cryon, right? The Cryon. Next week, instead of Joe Pisapia 17, maybe Lil Joe Pisapia. Maybe this weekend. They should change the X handle to that. Everyone's either young or Lil now as a rapper. I don't know why that is. I don't like it. Pat, how do you feel about this? Any thoughts and feelings?
I have noticed that trend. I mean, we
Why
have
is
to.
everyone Lil this, young this? You could be old Joe and old Pat sitting here talking football. We can do that. There we go. All right, let's get to Crystal Rodriguez. Flex Godwin or DeAndre Hopkins? Full PPR. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gross. I
this
mean, I will
comes
say
down.
this. Marshawn Lattimore always destroys Mike Evans, so maybe this is the Chris Godwin game.
That you could actually make that case. I think I'm still going Hopkins here. I just worry that with the way Godwin is used, like he's just not getting the targets with Baker Mayfield that he was getting with Tom Brady. And it seems
Right.
like he needs the volume to be the Chris Godwin we're used to seeing, and he's not getting it. So I'm
Yeah,
still
that's fair enough. That's a really good assessment, Pat. You're always the voice of reason. All right, let's get to the next one here. Let's go to Daryl Payne, Ramondre Stevenson, or Javonte Williams. Again, you're getting better now, folks. You're putting the J, but again, your Williamses, your Johnsonses, your what else did we say, John? There was a couple other ones the Moores. You gotta make sure that you're giving us full names because we want to help you. We can't help you if you know. So Javonte Williams or Ramondre Stevenson. But
still
who's on
Ramondre
there?
for me. Like I'm
Yeah,
not worried about an Ezekiel Elliott takeover yet. I know he got a lot of carries last week, but Ramondre still played about 2/3 of the offensive snaps. Zeke about a third. I think that's sort of the ratio the Patriots are going for. Just so happened that Zeke was getting handoffs on like, I don't know, 75% of his snaps last week. So like I still think you're pretty safe with Ramondre, and he's a top 10 running back for me this week.
yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, let's go. Everyone's panicking about Ramondre too. He's an interesting
I
buy
know.
low. A lot of panic out there. By the way, as I told you before, that breaking news that we got, that was a spectacular thing right there. My playbook. Make sure if you haven't already, you download my playbook. You sync all of your leagues because when you do, you get that lineup assistant. It's going to help you pick the best players for your lineup with the best projections. You can set all of your lineups from multiple sites. CBS, Yahoo, Sleeper, all of them. One spot, set all your lineups, boom, you're done. The waiver assistant to help you find the best players available in all your leagues. The trade analyzer, the trade finder, all these things that are available for free on my playbook. Sync your leagues today, fantasypros.com/myplaybook, or just download the app as well on your iOS system, right, John? That's where you want to do it, or your Android if you're like me and you're a grandpa. That's fine. But again, all those Apple people, all of a sudden now you got the charger that we have now. Yeah, you still feel elitist now? You still, yeah? Not anymore, do you? All right, let's keep going on here. Let's go to the next question we have, and the next question is from Ethan. Ethan Caster, 2 RBs and a flex, full PPR. Swift, Stevenson, Mixon, Pickens, or Ayuk. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to say, Pat, about this. I don't like the Mixon matchup against Tennessee. Not a fan. So I would go Swift, Stevenson, and then you could pick Pickens or Ayuk. I think we're really closer. I still lean Ayuk, but what do you think?
Honestly, Joe, I think I personally would go for the 3 running backs, and I
Okay,
know
that's fair.
Tennessee, you're right, Tennessee has just been, a skull and crossbones matchup for running backs. Their run defense is terrific, but we do know the volume is gonna be there with Mixon. Maybe he gets some targets too. Like, Mixon's usage is what we want. Like, I think it's a really good bet that he is in the 15 to 20 touch range, and hopefully there's a big play or two mixed in, and that gives him the yardage day you're looking for against the Titans.
I'm smiling, Pat, because this just came across the wire from Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport. Patriots running back Ezekiel Elliott expected to get starter reps against the Cowboys today. What the hell does that mean?
Are you kidding?
Starter reps? Bill, what are you doing here? Bill, I think I'm gonna bro Bill Belichick. Can I do that? Can I bro Bill Belichick? Is that even allowed?
I mean, is
Am I
that
allowed
just
to do that, John? Can I even bro Bill Belichick? I don't think I can.
is that just deference to Zeke in a
I think it's
revenge
against the
game?
Cowboys.
Yeah, in Dallas. Maybe it's
You let
just
him go out there first, kinda like, okay, that's a good
yeah.
thank you. Again, thank God Pat's here to keep me straight, man, because I go off the rails. I get crazy with this stuff, and I get really upset. When I see things like that, it makes me, like, emotionally damaged. The kids say "triggered." That triggered me just now.
Yeah, it's
I don't like that.
interesting report for sure.
Go
I
away.
don't know what to make of
I
that.
don't like that. Ree! Let's help Riri out. Breece Hall or Chuba Hubbard in the standard league?
Oh, Brees Hall, come on. I mean,
Yes.
like, I know the workload hasn't been what we want it to be, but hopefully it starts getting ratcheted up as, Hall proves the fitness of his surgically repaired knee, and we know he's 20 times the player Chuba Hubbard is. Gotta go with
Yes.
the talented player.
Agreed. All right, let's go to the next question here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Remember, everybody, make sure you like the stream. Make sure also that you subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel and comment below with your questions, because when you do, you just might win the bling ring. We're giving it away thanks to our good pals over at Trophy Smack. It's a bold statement. You want to dominate your league last few weeks of your season and win that championship. You want to dominate, heck, the first 3 weeks of your season. You want to elevate your fantasy football glory to the bling ring from Trophy Smack. It is awesome. It's what true champions get. It's the bling ring. So if you think you're a true champion, throw your hat in the ring for the bling ring. Drop a comment below. Click the bell till it goes ding for notifications so you know every time a piece of content drops. Also, when we can notify you if you're the big winner. And the best part is we'll be announcing that lucky winner right here on the channel. So don't forget to turn those notifications on right now and subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. We're the biggest thing since sliced bread, and sliced bread's pretty great. Sliced bread is pretty great. Let me tell you. Those back in the day when Pat and I were kids and you had to get that bread and cut it yourself. Come sliced already. Fantastic. All right, let's get to the next one here. Charlie Garcia, man, if I had a nickel for every Tank Dell question, I'd be 75 cents already. Full PPR, Ayuk or Tank Dell in the flex.
Ayuk, same concerns
Agreed.
about Dell, and,
Yeah.
Ayuk's a stud.
SPF Duchess, I think. Breida or Quentin Johnston or Roshan Johnson in the half PPR.
Wow, that's
Choose
a
your
really tough
Johnson.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your Johnson.
man, like, I actually have Breida ranked ahead of both of the Bears running backs this week, and,
Just
like,
due to the matchup against Seattle, I
yeah, and I
suppose,
know
more
that's
for
kinda
you.
gross, but, like, we also saw Breida take over 70% of the snaps
Mhm.
last week against the 49ers, and I know that didn't mean much against that defense, but easier matchup this week. Seattle's not quite as good against or bad as against the run as they were last year. They're a little bit better, but I still think they can be run on. And Breida looks like a good bet for 12 to 15 touches.
Yeah, certainly could. Let's get to another question here. Again, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Robert Lavelle. Good morning, brothers from another mother. Robert, we're so happy you're here with us every single live stream. You're the best. And all the shout out to all those folks who are always with us. I know Monica's out there. She was texting me a happy birthday on the messaging me on the Twitter machine. All those people who join us every single week for these live streams. You guys are amazing. Monica also adding guys off practice squads and stuff like that right now. She's a monster in the fantasy football community. Everybody should pay attention. Do what she does. All right. Good morning, brothers from another mother. In PPR, what do you think is a better choice, Joshua Kelly or Jerome Ford? It looks like it's going to be a ground and pound game. What do you think? I'd say Ford. I was not pleased with Kelly last week.
Yeah, Ford. I just think he's the better player.
Matthew Russell, Wilson, or Geno Smith? Need a W.
Mm. I'm
This is
going.
close.
I think I have Russ ranked just a smidge higher than Gino this week. Not bad setups for either. Just feeling
I think they're
slightly
both
better
going to be
about Russ.
19 points, right? Like they're all in that 18, 19 point range. Like I
It
don't think it's
feels like that. Yeah.
Matt. This is not going to be why you win or lose this decision. I really don't think so. Like, let me tell you, fascinating. Like, the Denver Broncos should go out there today with the personnel that they have and kick the ever loving you know what out of the Chicago Bears.
They
Okay,
should.
because the Bears are completely dysfunctional.
Yeah, and they have no
Don't
pass rush, and their secondary is really injury riddled right now. So
oh,
I think
Brister's hurt.
it sets up pretty well for Russ today.
If they don't, Pat, tomorrow morning's waiver wire show that we do on Monday mornings is going to
Oh.
be amazing. I am going to just lose my mind on that show. So make sure you subscribe for that. That's going to be a good watch. All right, let's go to Rich T. Hello, Joe. Half point PPR, Fields or Stroud, and then Thielen or Miles. I assume Miles Sanders is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. He said half point PPR, right?
Half point. Well, here's the thing. Now Bryce Young is playing today. Like all the hurt quarterbacks we weren't getting, we're getting, except for Jimmy G, which is so weird. Thielen, even with Bryce Young, I feel like Thielen's the way I want to go in that game, right? Because they're behind, right?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going Fields at quarterback. That's I think the
I
easier
know
of the
you're still doing it.
calls.
I can
Yeah.
feel the pain in your voice saying it, though. I love it. It's great.
I know. And I think I'm going with Sanders over Thielen here, Joe.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we've seen Thielen get heavy target volume the last 2 weeks, which is nice. So really heavy last week with Andy Dalton, but also 2 weeks ago, we saw Bryce Young look for him quite a bit. I would feel better about this if Andy Dalton were playing quarterback. And I know the Vikings their pass defense is pretty sketchy. It's not a bad matchup for Thielen, but I just don't love it quite as much with Bryce Young at quarterback. I'd rather go for the locked in volume I think you're going to get with Miles Sanders.
Okay. Luis Ramirez, Najee, or Hollywood Brown, full point PPR.
I got to go Najee here. I mean, I know it's been really frustrating, and Joe, we both liked him before the season.
I
Might
know.
eventually have to do a big mea culpa there, but man, if Najee can't get it going against the Texans' run defense, then I think we pretty much have to abandon all hope.
All right. Make sure everybody too, if you haven't already, you want to subscribe to Betting Pros also. I'm there with Pat. We're doing shows 5 days a week over there. We're doing the college football show, but we're also running a really cool contest, NFL contest for betting right now. Bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And if you join, you got to make 5 picks a week. We're giving away weekly prizes, monthly prizes, and an annual prize for the big winner. Big winner is going to get a Jackson Smith and Jigba autographed jersey thanks to us at Betting Pros because we're awesome and fun. So download the Betting Pros app, sync your sportsbook. By the way, if you're an Apple user and you sync your sportsbooks and download BP today, you get 3 free days of the premium Betting Pros product you can check out for free. Did I mention it's free? So do that. Download the app. Go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Or if you have the app, just click on the community tab and join the contest. Just got to make 5 bets a week. Again, it's free. You don't have to make the bets. You're just making picks. 5 picks a week, 100 for the season to be eligible for the JSN jersey. That's it. So you can also follow us at bettingpros.com/Joe/Fitz to see what we're betting today. I'm going to be putting the rest of my bets in after this show right now. Let's get to more of your questions. Again, drop them here in the chat. Roger Abalos, full point PPR. Need one running back, Alvin Kamara or Miles Sanders?
Oh, really close.
Not for me. I know where I'm going.
Yeah, I think I'm going
Alvin
with you,
Kamara.
Kamara. Yeah,
Let's go.
he's healthier.
What the hell are we waiting for? He was suspended. He's not hurt. He's ready to go. Let's
What do you
Alvin
think?
Kamara back in there.
What do you think the carry count is going to be if you had to guess? What would you set the over under at for Alvin
I'm going to
Kamara's?
say 10 for the carries, but I think he gets at least 6 to 8 targets, and that's what I care about more. I want this targets out of the passing game, especially like I don't know how limited Derek Carr is going to be in terms of throwing the football. Like Olave and Rashid Shaheed, all those guys, like that's going to be a little bit of a tough lift for me. But dumping the ball off to Alvin Kamara makes a lot of sense, especially when you don't have Jamal Williams to take away touchdowns too. Like, yeah, I have more touchdown equity than we realized too in this game.
Yeah, I think you might have a really good point there, Joe, about the passing game usage. I don't think we would have gotten full Alvin Kamara passing game usage with Jameis Winston, who is always looking to throw aggressively downfield and not too interested in dumping the ball off. But with Alvin Kamara, or with sort of a compromised Derek Carr, he's going to be looking to get the ball out quickly. that could feed into, like you said, 6 to 8 targets for Kamara, which would be fantastic.
All right, let's go to midday circle. Devontae Adams, Waddle, or Sutton in the PPR? Who's the odd man out of this group? That's what we need to know.
Even with who's the odd man out?
Yeah.
Adams, Waddle. I'm playing Adams and Waddle.
Okay, fair enough. I'm good
Yeah,
with that. I still think that Sutton has touchdown equity today. Like I've got him in some DFS lineups.
sure. But he's up
Fair.
there with, we're
Yeah,
talking top
100%.
15, top 10 wide
Ross Lambert, start 2. Kamara, Stevenson, Connor. I think it's Kamara and Stevenson, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. Jay Reichel, half point PPR, DJ Moore, Addison, Charbonnet. Who's the best one of that group?
I'm going to keep touting DJ Moore here.
You're going to die on that hill.
If he tanks, I'm going to have people with torches and pitchforks outside my front door tonight, Joe.
Yeah, he's don't throw any slaw balls over at Fitz, please. No slaw ball throwing. Dylan McLaughlin. That's a hell of a name, Dylan. Debo or Javonte Williams, full PPR.
Got to ride with Debo against the Cardinals.
Right. Best tech, full PPR. Rashad White, Zay Flowers, or Tank Dell.
I'm going to go with Zay Flowers here. I'm a little concerned about Rashad White. The workload has been great, but I don't think that Buccaneers can run the ball. One thing the Todd Monken offense has been doing well with the Ravens, like Lamar is getting the ball out pretty quickly when he does throw. And I think that sets up really well for Zay Flowers, especially with both Odell Beckham Jr. and Rashad Bateman out today. And obviously, Lamar's going to want to get rid of the ball really quickly and not have Myles Garrett breathing down his neck. So I think this could set up for like a 12-target game for Zay Flowers.
All right, let's go to the next one here on our list. We have Kyle Samples. Speaking of samples, Pat, are you a guy that in the grocery store, do you do the samples like when they have them out there?
Oh, of course, Joe.
Yeah.
Costco. I mean, Costco where they've got one at the end of every aisle. Sure. I'm all in.
That's a good thing. You know what I don't like though? I don't like when I go to the deli counter and they're like, would you like to try the meat? Like it's 10 a.m. I don't want a piece of turkey. Like
exactly.
that's not let them, I don't know why they do that. And then I feel guilty. Like they've handed it to me and they're like, would you? And they're like, no, thank you. And I always feel like they give me the stink eye after. They're like, oh, okay. Well, are you too good to try the cold cuts here in front of us? I'll just go back to cutting them for you, sir.
I want the free samples to be more like hummus on a cracker or something like that. Not really meat.
Like not in the morning. It's
right.
Like, can I get like a pound of salami? And you're like, yeah, here we go. I'm like, no, it's 9:30 in the morning. I just brushed my teeth basically. What am I doing here? Kyle Samples wants to know pick 3 in the full PPR: Madison, Jordan Addison, Zach Moss, or Marvin Mims. Well, Moss is in, right?
Yeah, and he needs a second too.
He needs 3. So who's the odd man out? Madison.
Oh, it's Mims.
Addison.
The usage problem we discussed earlier, Joe, and just not enough snaps or routes run for Marvin Mims.
Matthew, Russell Wilson, or Geno Smith. We did that already. It was Russell for Pat. I'm reading the next name. Billy Bob. Where is Joe Burrow in the rankings this week? Well, if you go to FantasyPros.com, you'll see where he is in the rankings right now, and I could pull that up for you. But as a bigger question here, I think it's really interesting to see what we get out of Jamar Chase after that huge volume we saw on Monday. Let's have that trend continue because that's awesome. I'd love that. Burrow right now is QB 12. He's ahead of Wilson and Geno, who are 13 and 14. Pat, do you agree with that ranking?
I'm a little higher on him. I think I've got him at 10, maybe. And I think we're feeling pretty good about this matchup with the Titans. The Titans' pass defense is not good. But they sort of limit big plays. I do think this sets up really well for a Burrow Chase connection day because I think the Titans want to keep things short and keep things in front of them. They're willing to suffer the death by 1,000 cuts and give up a lot of short throws underneath. So it might be a 10 catch day for Jamar.
Those become very dangerous underneath the Jamar Chase because next thing you know, he's gone.
Right.
So interesting stuff. Also, I want to thank the sponsor of today's show, who is amazing. Sponsors Jack Link's protein snacks. And there's no better way to enjoy the game day than with Jack Link's protein snacks. From jerky to beef sticks to steaks and even more, Jack Link's delivers 100% beef in a wild assortment of delicious flavors. I'm telling you, they're fantastic. It's just what you need to help feed your wild side. So shop now at jacklinks.com, or you can find them at your local retailer. Again, delicious. I wouldn't tell you to buy them if I didn't think they were good. I got them right here. Again, it's not too early this time because I've been up since like 6 in the morning every Sunday because of, being famous and doing stuff. So by like 11, I'm hungry. I go right for this every time, right for it, right afterwards. So go get your Jack. That's what the packaging looks like, folks. Go see it. You can see it's open because I've already gone into it. Jack Links, need more. Send more. I already told Jimmy. You got to send me a whole case. I'm going through it like crazy. Let's go to the next question here on our list of questions. Again, don't forget to like the stream while you're here hanging out with us today. We appreciate all of you joining us every single Sunday and every Tuesday at 3 and every Thursday at 3 for all of our silliness and our great football analysis here on Fantasy Pros. Let's go to Jeff Godowski. Here we go. Danny Dimes or Justin Fields? I think I know what Pat's going to say, but let's see.
I'm going to go Justin Fields here.
Yep.
Danny Dimes, he's got problems of his own, mainly his offensive line. The offensive line was horrible. I think I heard the PFF guys say that the Giants pass blocking grade against the 49ers last week was like one of the 3 lowest pass blocking grades of the last 4 years. And no Andrew Thomas at left tackle today. So I think they're going to have issues moving the ball against the Seattle Seahawks. I'd rather go with Justin Fields. Boy, I mean, two quarterbacks of a similar ilk getting a lot of their value with their legs. I feel a little better about it with Justin Fields than I do with Daniel.
It's fair. I tend to agree with you, but I know Debro's very in on Danny Dimes this week. Now, look, Danny Dimes without Saquon Barkley also, can we just say like the passer rating drops 20 points? So, and the wins go down, everything goes down without Saquon. Go look at the record. It's an incredible split. It's very clear. That being said, I know Seattle's not a great defense, and I hear you, but I don't know. I'm with Pat here on this one. I go with Fields. Let's go to Hadi Diallo, Tank Dell, or Scary Terry McLaurin.
Man, we're just getting all the Tank Dell questions.
All the Tank Dell we can handle.
Boy,
we should just call this the Tank Dell live stream. We could just done an hour on Tank Dell.
No kidding. I'm so close with those guys. I think I have to go with the guy I believe to be the better player, Terry McLaurin, and he's had a pretty good history against the Eagles. Even though I do worry that the Eagles pass rush is going to terrorize Sam Howell today.
Jared Bumgarner, Javonte Williams, or Achane?
Oh man, that's really close. I'm going to go with Javonte here. That's a really tough decision.
I'd play the total of Achane personally. Like, yeah. I want to see. Like, I don't think he's going to get one. Last week, he's not copy and pasting that ever again. But I'm intrigued enough to see. Now, if he goes away and disappears, it's going to crush me. But I think you have to look at the rest of your lineup, right, Pat, and see. Like, if you got a good lineup, okay, just start Javonte. If you don't, then I think you take a swing for the fences.
Yeah, that's a good point. As a favorite, I think I would be more inclined to start Javonte, and maybe as an underdog, you're starting Achane.
Floss Page in full point PPR, Tank Dell, Garrett Wilson, Quentin Johnson. Got to start one. Who is it? I'm starting Tank Dell. Enough of these other guys.
Yeah, Joe, I know. I mean, I just like Garrett Wilson is.
I know he's a great talent, but it's Zach Wilson. He's terrible.
I know.
And the two touchdowns Zach Wilson has thrown to Garrett Wilson. One, Garrett Wilson had a tip to himself and make an incredible play on Monday Night Football in that first game. And then the other one, the defender fell down. Like, I can't count on that to happen every week, I feel like.
I know. I've just to reiterate my concerns about Tank Dell, I just worry about the Texans' ability to keep the Pittsburgh pass rush off C.J. Stroud today.
Alsteezy, pick 2, Ford, Wilson, Hopkins, PPR. This is rough. Ford is in.
Yeah, Ford is in for sure. And I'm starting Hopkins over Garrett Wilson.
Miguel Martinez, full PPR, Palmer or Godwin? Stevenson, Palmer or Godwin? Excuse me, Stevenson was in that mix too for Miguel.
Oh, just one? Then it's Stevenson.
Okay, let's go to Exterminator. Buongiorno, paisans. Half PPR, Mixon or Connor? Grazie. I'm going to go with Mixon here.
Yeah, I know you don't like the matchup, Joe.
I don't like the matchup for either of them, but I'm going to go with the better offense. And just
yes, agreed. Mixon.
Light a candle in church. Yeah. Synaptic Flare. Nice to have a little synaptic flare. Bench 1 out of Puka, Olave, and Debo. Oof, I don't want to bench any of those guys, really.
Oh, man. I mean, maybe.
It smells of 2 wide receiver league to me, Pat. Olave might be the guy to bench with Carr today. Just saying. I know that hurts, but.
I think I'd be inclined to bench Debo. Ayuk is back. He's not fully healthy. And maybe, if the 49ers build a lead, they just decide to shut him down a little bit early.
Maybe. All right, let's go to Donald's question. Need 2 half-point PPR. Kamara, Harris, Dell. Again, just giving us more. So I don't know. Is that DJ Moore? Is it Mandy Moore? Which Moore are we talking about? And then Wilson, which I assume is Garrett Wilson. So Kamara's in for me. I'm 100% in on Kamara today.
Yeah, it's just one. Then it's Kamara for me also.
No, he needs 2. Donald needs 2. So
Okay,
I assume it's
Kamara.
Najee Harris we're talking about.
Yeah,
Again,
I
now we got to
think
go through Harris's in there. Got Damian
I
Harris,
know.
got Najee Harris.
Think
Folks, we
Najee
love
would be
you.
my
Help us help you.
exactly.
Help us help you. I'm dressed like Jerry Maguire today, so this is perfect. Help us help you set your lineups. So what do you want to go here? Kamara and who?
Kamara and Najee.
Okay. Skilly. I need to be aggressively redundant this week. I'm not sure what that means, but sounds like a good hip hop album title from the late 90s. No flex, 3 wide receiver, start to full PPR. Who do I bench? Kyron Williams, James Cook, or Zach Moss? Yikes. I have a hard time benching Cook or Moss this week.
Yeah, I would sit Kyron actually. Like he's getting volume and playing a ton of snaps, but the efficiency, 3.6 yards per carry and I think like 4.2 yards per target. So it's just been sort of empty volume there. And not entirely empty. I mean, he did have a multi-touchdown game back in week 1, but yeah, I think he would be the omission for me.
But seriously, I mean, really, that's actually the person. Kyron Williams or Achan? This is where morbid curiosity starts to creep in.
There I have to go with Kyron.
I understand why. Just take what you can get. Matt Willman. Defense today. You want to go with the Ravens or the Bengals? Interesting choices here. Ravens are more in play with the Watson health.
I think
the
so.
Bengals are in play too. You know, I'm going to disregard the Bengals either against Tennessee. So what do you think?
Both top 10 options. I do think it's really close. I think the Ravens are maybe just a slightly better percentage play.
Make sure you stick around with us because the Welsh and Tara Roberts are going to be taking you through the next hour of all of your Tank Dell questions. So I hope they're ready for all the Tank Dell questions you're going to get. Every single question pretty much is Tank Dell or. So just keep it real, keep it tight. All the Tank Dell questions you can handle. Let's go to the next question here. Michael Lewis. You want to go with Joshua Kelly, Roschon Johnson, or Jalen Warren? Need one in the PPR. Kelly, Roschon, or Warren?
Reluctantly, Joshua Kelly.
I reluctantly agree. G Wiz 1978 need 2. Tank Dell, Roschon, or Dameon Pierce. I think we did that one already, so we're gonna keep on. Joel Nates, half PPR. Rashad White or Achan?
Achan. We just we're not. It's been empty volume for Rashad White.
Okay, so and if it's not Tank Dell, just so Welsh and Tara know, it's Achan. Achan. We haven't gotten the Achan or Tank Dell yet. But when that happens, that's like the nexus of the universe, Pat. That's when everything explodes and the universe reveals itself to you. Let's go to Henry Rutherford's question here. Start 2. Achan, James Connor, I believe, is what they're saying. I'm not sure who that is. James Coll. I think they meant to write James Connor and just started, drinking early. Or Kyron Williams, PPR, start 2. What do you want to do?
Kyron and Achan. Leave Connor on the bench in the tough matchup.
Ship Life 22. Which quarterback should I pick? Watson or Lamar? I think Lamar because he's healthy.
Oh yeah, and don't fear the matchup against the Browns for Lamar. Like he's still going to get his rushing yardage, and again, he's been getting rid of the ball quickly. I think he can, connect for 200 passing yards today.
All right, let's try to squeeze one more in here before we make that transition. Ethan Shaw, Pittman, Tank Dell, or Josh Palmer. We have to end on a Tank Dell question. Here we go. Pittman, Tank Dell, Josh Palmer. Let's pick the one we want.
And I don't think I've recommended Tank Dell for one of these, Joe. So I'm not gonna cave in now. I'm gonna go with Michael Pittman here.
There you go. Pat staying strong. No Tank Dell, all the DJ Moore. In case you were watching for the last hour, that's Pat's stance for week 4 in the NFL. But luckily for you, the show does not end here. We have another hour of Fantasy Pros live coverage for you right here. So stay with us as the Welsh and Tara Roberts pick things up from here and take all of your questions right here on your YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube, like the stream, click the bell for notifications, and drop your questions here in the chat. Have a great week 4, everybody. That'll do it for us. The coverage picks up right here with Welsh and Tara right now.
Hello, friends. It does. Here we are. It's Welsh. It's Tara. The show rolls on. We've got all your stuff and your things for week 4, starts and sits, tanks and dells, whatever it is. We got you covered. So load up that chat with lots of questions so we can make sure we answer them. Tara, you ready to do damage on week 4? I feel like week 4 with this whole like waking up at 30 in the morning with a London game and at least the Falcons are being the Falcons, but the 30 game and stuff like that has me a little bit thrown off. Are you ready?
Yeah, it has me thrown off too. I was 820 and I was like, oh, I might want to go and check my rankings and make sure for the ones that are about to lock, and then lineup switches last minute. Yeah, it threw me off, man, because I'm trying to get ready to do the shows and everything, and just yeah. London games are awesome, but it's not the easiest to work around, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
You know what? They're not actually awesome. I'm on the West Coast, so it's like 5 in the morning, the games. It's the dumbest thing on the planet. It's like I woke up and it was the second quarter. But like I said, at least the world was normal. Ritter was throwing picks and everything seemed right in the world. So we're going to be answering all your questions. Load them up. Get you set. Biggest news, if you didn't hear, Deshaun Watson is inactive today. Looks like Derek Carr is going to play and Watson's inactive. Dorian Thompson is going to be taking the reins. So I don't know what overall, I'm down on Deshaun Watson every single week. Where is that going to end up putting you on Watson with Thompson in? Because at quarterback, I mean, most people weren't able to really make this move, I don't think. I mean, Watson was down here at 18. Where are you going to put really the subsidiary characters? Where are you going to put the Jerome Fords? Where are you going to put the Coopers and the Elijah Moores?
I'm worried because it could go two ways. So we could get an increase in volume on the ground for Jerome Ford and say, okay, that's better for Jerome Ford. At the same time, we could get Baltimore's defense say, okay, let's just focus on stacking the box, stopping Jerome Ford. Nobody's going to succeed out of that backfield, and we're going to make DTR throw the ball at us. So it could go either way. So it's risky if we it's a risk either way. What I do know for sure is that it's definitely making me downgrade these pass catchers. I love DTR and I'm ready to see this. I'm excited. When he won that backup job, yeah, I was ready to go. But I feel like I have to pivot away from, because we get a lot of Elijah Moore flex questions every single week. I feel like I have to pivot away from Elijah Moore now. I don't feel comfortable starting him. Amari Cooper, I always feel comfortable with, regardless of Deshaun Watson struggles. But again, you just got to move him down a little bit. He's a must start still, but I can see where you have other options in shallow leagues that you're pivoting towards. Jerome Ford is the shaky one for me. I can go either way. It depends on the matchup.
Yeah, the Elijah Moore stuff, what's really difficult is I just don't know who's going to become the safety weapon for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't know which one that's going to be. Is that going to be a bunch of short passes to Moore? I think it was last week or the week before, we just saw it was the first half. It was just all dump offs to Elijah Moore. Is it going to be Cooper? Is it going to be, we don't really know. It just makes everybody a little bit riskier. So, not that you're going to bench Amari Cooper. You're not going to do that or anything like that. But Elijah Moore, I don't know, maybe does become a little bit more difficult to the 4,000 Tank Dell questions. We'll see where everybody is at. Let's get to some questions. Load them up. All week 4 stuff. Let's start with Ivan. Yo, Dorian Thompson is going to start. Yeah, okay. He was just telling us. Yes, that is 100% fact. Brian says, need 2. DeAndre Hopkins, Jordan Addison, or Thielen in PPR.
Oh man. I lean towards going with Thielen. I know it feels weird to say Thielen over or DeAndre Hopkins. You're saying lean with 2 there.
Yeah, it's need 2,
I lean toward So Thielen is my favorite of that grouping. Love the matchup with him, the revenge game with him. So between Hopkins and Jordan Addison, that one is odd. It's tougher than it needs to be, unfortunately. Touchdown. Addison's been very touchdown dependent, and we do have probably a vacuum of targets going to DeAndre Hopkins. So I lean towards going to DeAndre Hopkins with Adam Thielen.
Oh, this is where we already started the show off on the against, because without Andy Dalton, I don't trust Adam Thielen. I love Addison today. Addison, I love. I saw Erickson me and Erickson for 3 weeks have been completely on this is also from a betting perspective. His yards were really low. His catches were at 3.5 at plus money. I'm taking the over on both. Those are 2 big bets this week, but also he is just more of a force in this offense. And he was 6 targets in the second half after not being targeted in the early part of the game. I think he is going to be a heavy dose of it. I just don't trust the Panthers offense, and I don't trust Bryce Young with Adam Thielen, even though there's a revenge narrative. I think they're all close. is where I would go with
Mhm.
that. But I kind of agree. If anything, I might be willing to dump Hopkins out of this, but I can't dump Addison. And because of that volume, like you're talking about, that's always there with Hopkins and Burks banged up, I'm going to sit Thielen on this one. I just can't do it, even though,
I
we
get it.
want to do it. I just
I
can't
get it.
do it. Friends, this episode is brought to you by Jack Link's Protein Snacks. There's no better way to enjoy game day than with Jack Link's Protein Snacks. From jerky and beef sticks to steaks and more, Jack Link's delivers 100% beef and a wild assortment of delicious flavors. It's just what you need to help feed your wild side. Shop now at jacklinks.com. Or just get up off your butt and go to any store because you're going to find them. They're there for you. Feed that wild side, my friends. Jack Links, do it. Matthew, full PPR, pick 2. K-Will. That's Kyron Williams? No, because who is K? Oh, that's Ken Walker.
That's
Ken Walker
Kenneth Walker the third. KWII.
That's just a bunch of letters to me. That's Ken Walker, Kyron Williams, James Cook. Pick 2. Kyron's got to kick rocks, right, Tara?
No, he doesn't have to.
We all know you're not sitting James Cook here. That's for sure. So you're gonna sit Ken Walker for Kyron?
No, I'm not. But Kyron doesn't have to kick rocks. I do think he'll have a nice. I think he's gonna have a bounce back performance, and that's what makes this one hard. Because I love this matchup for James Cook. I see this as an easy, not easy, but I see this as a nice 20-point fantasy point performance from him, even without the touchdown that I wish so badly he could get. But you are right. Kenneth Walker, this matchup, it just screams like massive day for him against that Giants defense. So you do have to go with Kenneth Walker and James Cook. But I don't want to tell Kyron to kick rocks.
Well, I mean, it's just this scenario. I'm not telling him to kick rocks in general. Just in this scenario, he's got to go. All 3 of these guys on FantasyPros consensus ranks, which you guys can go and check out, in half PPR, they're all top 10 this week on rankers. And Kyron is above James Cook. Kyron is number 7 on the list. Walker's number 6, though. So if you want to go by the consensus ranks, I think there's a lot feeding exactly what Tara's saying. Like, Kyron isn't a big kick rocker, but he can stick around, and he is better than James Cook. I just love James Cook. Volume has been out there. This might be a shootout. He's going to catch the ball. Also, there's a potential that there could be trying to slow the game down just a tiny bit, which is going to work in favor of James Cook as well. So I just can't bench James Cook here. So I'm Cook and Ken Walker, but I don't know. Maybe you got Elijah Moore in your flex. Kick him to the curb and get Kyron in there.
Yeah.
CM Kerrigan, half PPR, Henry, Kamara, Stevenson, Connor, bench 1.
So sadly, it is Stevenson. And that was even before the announcement of Ezekiel Elliott getting increased workload, which is befuddling, in terms of I truly hope that's just for this game right here for his benefit. Maybe Bill Belichick's heart has warmed up and he wants to give Zeke this wonderful revenge game. But I was already worried even before that we were literally going to see no goal line touches for Ramondre Stevenson in this game. It just wasn't going to happen. They will get in the red zone, and once they get there, it's going to be Zeke getting as many opportunities as he needs. So yeah, unfortunately, it's Stevenson. I hope it doesn't stick for the rest of the season because that's just poor practice, in my opinion.
I think it is lining up that it is going to be bench Stevenson for most of the season at this point. I mean, there were so many, Twitter and everything is just such a garbage place for takes and whatnot. And all the people that are like, oh, if you think Ezekiel Elliott's really going to affect Stevenson, then you need to rethink. And guess what's exactly happening? Stevenson, and also the offense kind of stinks. And they're not using Stevenson how we've seen, but Elliott is 100% affecting Stevenson. And we're a month in. So now we are getting into that really bad place where what's going to happen? Stevenson is really good in week 5 when you start benching him, and then you're going to try to put him in and he'll stink again. We're going to get into that dance of never making the right decision. The right decision, if given choices, is probably to bench Stevenson. If you have those right choices, he is 18 on the consensus ranks, and that might be too high. That might still be us being a little too high as an industry on Stevenson. Hopefully not. Hopefully he's going to bounce back, but I don't trust him. And if I'm given options like all those crazy good options, then I would move on. Just move on. John, DJ Moore, Flowers, Addison, or Quentin Johnston. I'm guessing this is a pick one. I'm guessing.
It is DJ Moore for me. I cannot pit my approach this week with Justin Fields is DJ Moore. That I cannot pivot off of those guys in this matchup. So I'm still going with DJ Moore, despite my love for Zay Flowers. It's just bad matchup. Jordan Addison, again, I do like what you're saying about Jordan Addison, but DJ Moore, I think, just has the higher upside in this matchup.
I'm trying to look and see. Flowers is 31 on the consensus ranks. Where is DJ Moore? All the way down here at 38. He is below the Thielens. The Zay Flowers that's just on the. I just want to give you guys a consensus rank here. I actually agree with you on the DJ Moore thing. It was kind of like my Calvin Ridley stuff for today. Was like, I mean, not that he's been amazing. He did get a touchdown, but it was like, there's probably no justification I don't have any good stats on why Calvin Ridley's got to be better. It's just going to happen. And outside of the score, it really hasn't. But this is another one of those where it's like, I don't know if I have a whole bunch outside of like, unless the Bears are going to be Caleb Williams fishing, I really do think like they got to start to get better, and it's going to be built around DJ Moore. And this is a matchup that seems primed for some offense, even in the worst of offenses. So I lean more, but you guys know I really favor Addison this week. So if I was just picking one, probably go DJ Moore. If I was picking two, it's tough between Flowers and everybody's in. You know what? No, you know what? Flip all this. I got to go back to Flowers. I completely forgot. Everybody's inactive for Baltimore. Everybody. They're all inactive. Yeah. It's just Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews just running circles around everybody. So like those little digital characters on the game today for Disney, just little cartoon characters running around. That'll be Zay Flowers.
I will say, I do think that Flowers is safe. Like, despite the matchup, I think he's a safe option. I just don't think the upside is there. Like, I can see this as a nice 10-plus target game, and the yardage is only like 50 yards. So from a PPR perspective, he's probably going to get you to double-digit fantasy points, but I don't know if the touchdown is going to be there given the matchup against Cleveland.
Yeah, well, all these options are kind of, again, I come back to, you know who the safest option actually really is? It's probably Kirk Cousins, one of the top passing teams in the NFL with all those options. Zay Flowers isn't safe. DJ Moore's not safe with Fields. They're not safe. You are building like upside versus, that floor. So, all right, Flicky, start Mike Evans, Debo, or Thielen. Pick two. So this is probably built around a Debo being healthy enough to play today type of thing.
Yeah, and then also the unfortunate matchup for Mike Evans, which I've got a lot of Mike Evans questions earlier on the FantasyPros Instagram live. And I get it because he just hasn't historically performed well in this instance, and you kind of wonder why would it change now? It's risky. I still, between him and Thielen, I still would go with Mike Evans, and that I am trusting Debo's health.
Okay. I'm big Brandon Ayuk guy today. He's on my bets. If you want to go over to if you have the Betting Pros app, you guys should go and follow me. If you have not, download the app today in your app store, iOS, Android, whatever it is. Go and pick up the Betting Pros app. You can follow all your favorite people that are in the industry, especially on the Fantasy Pros side. You can see who they're betting. You can get awesome notifications. Go and check it out. And you can follow me. And I locked in all my Brandon Ayuk bets. So I love me some Brandon Ayuk. If Debo's active, I think it's going to be one of those light Debo days, just to maybe a little bit down the middle, a screen pass or two. This would be heavy Ayuk. Brock Purdy doesn't check down. He just stares at Ayuk all day. And then the safety net is Christian McCaffrey. So I think it's tough to bench Debo. I don't love Thielen a crazy amount, but I might lean Mike Evans and Thielen unless they give us a really good bill of like, hey, Debo's good. Debo's really, really good. If they give any type of doubt, I might take him off. If I did put Debo in, I'd dump Thielen in this instance. But that's me. TC, full PPR, DJ Moore or Gabe Davis. I think we've already established we're both kind of DJ Moore here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. James Rodgers, Stevenson or Jerome Ford as RB2 in full PPR?
Jerome Ford.
It's pretty easy, Jerome Ford. And I think, let me see where Jerome Ford is on the half PPR list. He is 23 to Stevenson's 18. How off do you think that is?
That's off. I hope I'm not one of those people that needs to address that. Yeah, because I don't. 18 is super, super high. Yeah, no, I'm not one of those people. I have him at 25. I'm there. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, too late anyways, because the game was at, 2 in the morning or whatever the hell it was. And we're all stuck now for our rankings because of the London. Thank you, London. All right. Farron said, this is a tough one. Michael Pittman or Brandon Ayuk?
I will still say Brandon Ayuk because again, he does have the higher upside. But I love Michael Pittman. I love what I've seen from him. The man has double-digit targets in every single game, regardless of who's Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew. It does he's just the wide receiver one of that offense. So he's such a safe wide receiver too. But upside for Brandon Ayuk is pretty strong this week. So it's Ayuk.
Yeah, it's Ayuk for me, but like Pittman is a lock. I'm a sucker for those like best friend type. Did you see they walked in today and they had the shirts where they're photo imposed on the Step Brothers thing? Like I'm a sucker for those type of like football relationships where I look at that and I'm like, what are his props? You want to know what his props are today? His 6.5 is the over under on his receptions. Michael Pittman, and his yards are already over it's like 63.5. That's pretty aggressive for Michael Pittman props.
I think people are starting to buy into it. People have been so skeptical around him and thinking that, he's not particularly special, but I mean, I think he's finished as a wide receiver too every single year outside of his rookie year. Does he have that overall wide receiver one upside? No, but it's okay to be a solid wide receiver two with low end wide receiver one upside. And that's what he is. So we got to buy into it.
If you want to go against us, the consensus ranks does have Pittman as 18 and Ayuk is 20 this week. Tara and I both say Brandon Ayuk. And the only thing working against Ayuk and them is if this game gets out of hand and they're just not throwing the ball in the second half. But Cardinals have been playing really, really tough, so I'm not going to even throw that out there. All right, Skilly, flex spot, full PPR, Roshan, Mims, Jalen Warren, and then a Hart Tara. I don't think you were involved in the flex options, but you are loved, Tara.
Thank you. You are loved as well. Thank you, Skilly.
Not by Skilly.
Oh man, this is hard. It really is. This one's painful. I think that Rashad is the option that I want to go with. It's so tough and hard to ignore the production that Mims is getting. It feels fluky right now because of the lack of involvement in terms of snaps. But Rashawn, and then Jalen Warren has this fantastic matchup against Houston, but has a split with Najee. But I just lean towards Rashawn. I think that this is going to be the game where he might assert himself a little bit more over Khalil Herbert.
I agree. I'm with the Roshan. I think, again, we just go back to that offense. There's definitely a potential for this to turn in the opposite direction of giving up 70 points and they hunker down. But, it's not a good defense. It's a horrible defense. Fields of them have to be more aggressive. And Roshan has been doing good catching the ball out of the backfield. Jalen Warren hasn't really, even though, Najee just blindly runs into butts of offensive linemen and Jalen can make cuts, they still haven't made that a big adjustment. And I think that game might be a little bit more pass heavy. And that actually works in favor of Jalen Warren. I would rank these Roshan, Jalen, and Marvin Mims. And Marvin Mims might be the number one. The problem is he does it on 3 touches. And I don't want to base anything off of the volume yet until they start committing to him. He might have 80 yards on 2 catches and a score, and he's the number one scorer of these guys, but the volume is just not there. But he is definitely a playmaker for sure. James says White, which let's just assume that's probably Rashad White. Yeah. White, Pierce, Damian Pierce. Give us full names for the love of God. Brian Robinson and Achan. So full PPR start 1. Rashad White, Damian Pierce, Brian Robinson, or Achan.
I am going back to Rashad White. I know last week was disappointing, and it's not an ideal matchup. New Orleans does have a stout defense, but I don't like the matchup for Brian Robinson. Pierce is, we've struggled to trust and get there with Pierce, so it comes down between him and Achane for me, which I don't think is a bad start. I'm okay with flexing Achane this week, even though we don't know what that split will be, but I still lean towards going with Rashad White.
I am also going with Rashad White. I'm a very big Rashad White guy. I think these are all really good options. I like Achane in certain situations. I'm not huge on Pierce, if we're being honest, but Steelers defense hasn't been really great, so that's where I'll go. Are you into this Toy Story game they're doing, the Fun Day Football animated Toy Story thing? Are you into this?
I wish I had a live right before, and so I haven't even gotten to check it out yet. I haven't even got to watch the game, so I'm sad. But yes,
Okay,
if I had time, I would have tried to set up with one of my kids with it. But
yeah,
no.
I think that would have been great. I feel like it's weird. It's just like I saw like a play, and I was like, "This is weird." It's just like it looks just like a backyard football game, or like like one of those backyard baseball but backyard football
Yeah.
video games. It's odd. I don't know if kids are super excited about it, but hey, letting you guys know, if you want to play this really awesome Falcons Jaguars London game, you can get the Toy Story version out that's sitting out there. Have so much fun with that. T. Wright, Jerome Ford. There's a lot of Jay Williams. I guess it's probably Javonte. Achane, non-PPR, need 2. So we're touchdown dependent.
Oof.
Javonte, Ford, and Achane.
Oh, it is Ford and Javonte. I hate to pivot from Achane, but again, it's the risk of that workload, and then matchup is good for Javonte. Piran's role has been reducing week over week, oddly enough. Very weird. Now, granted, it could pop back up here, but it's Javonte and Jerome.
Yes, I'm going to go with the exact same thing. Gabriel, half PPR, Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy?
I'm still going with Amari Cooper. I can understand why people would be a little bit skeptical of it with Dorian Thompson-Robinson starting. But Jerry Jeudy has been the one that's kind of, I'm comfortable with Sutton. Like Jerry Jeudy has been the one that's been like, So yeah, I'm still going with Amari. He finds a way.
And if you look at like a new quarterback going into the Bears offense, they have to simplify things. And if you can find separation, Amari Cooper is one of the best ways to simplify things. So I'm going to still trust him. Cortland Sutton seems to be the main target. They're trying to get Marvin Mims more involved. I just don't think the ceiling is very high for Jeudy, and I don't think the floor is really great either. So I think it works in the opposite direction. Friends, are you ready to make a bold statement like us not taking Jerry Jeudy? Is that bold? No. Let's go bolder. If you want to dominate, if you are dominating after the first 3 weeks of your fantasy football league, then it is time to elevate your fantasy football glory with the bling ring from Trophy Smack and stand out as the true champion that you are. We've teamed up with Trophy Smack to bring you an epic giveaway that is going to take your league celebrations to the next level. To be eligible, all you got to do is this: subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, your ultimate source of fantasy football insights and updates. Leave a comment below. You guys are already doing that. You guys are locking yourselves in. That if you haven't, leave a comment on any of our videos. And that's it. That's it. The best part, will be announcing the lucky winner right here on this channel, so don't forget to turn on those notifications. That way, you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop and when it's time to claim your prize. Subscribe, comment, and let the bling do the talking. That's pretty sweet. Trophy Smack rocking. All right, let's go to Chase. Half PPR, Mark Andrews against the Browns, or stream Logan Thomas against the Eagles. Ooh, we're at that point of Mark Andrews where we're thinking about not playing him, Tara.
Yeah, I get it. And oddly enough, Logan Thomas, sans the concussion, was looking steady. He was looking steady-ish. But no, I'm still going with Mark Andrews.
Yeah, we're going to go with Mark Andrews. Hey, it's Ernie. Ernie's got one. Tank Dell, Flowers, or Joshua Kelly, flex PPR. So this is those Tank Dell questions we were told about from Joe. This is our first one here. So Josh Kelly as the main guy for probably one final week. Flowers or Tank Dell?
Still Tank Dell. Although this could be like, everyone's like, no, Josh Kelly, we're done with you. And now he would come out and, just absolutely show off this week. But I don't want to do that. I'll miss it. And I'll go with Tank Dell.
Zay Flowers, pretty easy for me. I'm probably going to be a little bit more crotchety like Pat here, where everyone's asking and Pat never says tank. That'll probably be me. But it's also because I think this is a Nico week. I think Nico is back.
Sure.
Everyone's like, oh, Nico, no, Nico's back. So, but I don't think tank's going to be garbage. And I think there are instances where you can start him. For me, it's not over Zay Flowers or Josh Kelly. Everybody's ready to bench Josh Kelly this week. So this will be the week where he's got 120 yards, 2 scores, and we're like, oh my gosh. And it'll be on a lot more benches than usual. Foodie Critic says pick 2, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Nico Collins, or Tank Dell. We got all the goodies in here. Half point PPR. So Ayuk is a lock. I'm locking him in, so we don't have to worry about that. So it's Dell or Nico over Lockett in your eyes.
It's not. It's still Lockett. I struggle to bench Lockett. It just never feels good. So it's Lockett. It's a good matchup too. So hey, it makes that decision a lot easier for me.
Samesies. If I were taking another, it'd be Nico, as you can probably tell. But I would go with I'd go with my 2 studs here. I'd go with Lockett and obviously Ayuk. Cody says half point PPR need 1 Breida or Quentin Johnston. Ugh.
So I will say, although it feels uncomfortable, I would go Breida. He had an 82% snap count last week. They aggressively, he was the one, even though the carries weren't, it was like 5 carries for him and like maybe 5 for Brightwell, but he dominated in terms of being on the field. And last week was a hot mess in terms of games. So I do think that this will be a better situation for him. I don't mind the matchup for him. So volume right there, I will go with Breida.
I'll also go with the volume. I don't feel good about it, but I'm also not a huge Quentin Johnston is the biggest beneficiary. I'm a Josh Palmer guy. I'm a through and through Josh Palmer guy. So like Quentin Johnston might have some games and maybe it'll be fun at times, but I think Palmer is more volume. And in this instance, I want the volume with Breida. So Tara nailed it. Corey says, morning pros. Thanks for being here once again. You are welcome. 2 quick ones. 10 team full PPR, RB2, Rachaad White, Pacheco, or Jaylen Warren. Let's start there. So we're going to knock Jaylen Warren off here. So White or Pacheco?
I love Pacheco, but it's still Rachaad White.
Agreed, because it's full PPR too. Now flex, this is an easy one. Pittman or Gabe the Babe? This is Pittman all the way,
Pittman.
baby.
Yeah, we're so Pittman.
Corey, we got easy answers for you there. So we're Pittman and Rachaad White. All right, Marcus, need help. Brian Robinson or Josh Kelly, 10 team, full PPR, rocking with Breece Hall for the other RB spot. Prime time. That's all for Marcus. So really, it's Robin. We can even throw Breece in there. I don't know if anything changes there. Brian Robinson, Josh Kelly, Breece Hall. Let's eliminate one.
I think it's going to be Brian Robinson. Purely matchup. I hate to do that because I like Brian Robinson, but the matchup is it's absolutely horrible. So yeah, unfortunately.
I think I'll do the same thing. I think I'm going to jump on that same bandwagon with you. Also looking here, the score getting a little bit better in that London game, and Brian Robinson receiving prop has absolutely locked, and his rushing prop has rocked. So, or Bijan, I'm sorry, Bijan, looking at Brian, Bijan Robinson has been an absolute stud. Not that we're trying to give live updates or anything like that here, but Bijan Robinson keeps going, game becoming a little bit more interesting if you guys are hanging out with us while also sporting some London football. Jeff says need a flex full PPR. Mike Evans, Madison, Mixon, Gainwell. Is that only one? You need one of those guys. So, I mean, I guess I'll throw them out. I mean, we don't need Gainwell in here, but like Evans, Madison, Mixon. Are you going to bench Mixon in this instance? I'm not.
No, I don't think it's a bad matchup, but I feel like we could get the same Jerome Ford situation that we had last week where he's only got like 20 yards, but he gets the touchdown. So I'm still okay with Mixon.
Richardson or Joe Burrows is the second question here.
I know we want to go Richardson, but I love Joe Burrow as this is his bounce back. This is his 2023 breakout. This is it right here against Tennessee. If Deshaun Watson can do it, so can Joe Burrow. So it's Joe Burrow.
I'm fine either way. There's definitely like good for you for having those options. I'm fine for wanting to like be a part of that one. Tennessee's defense I think from the past, they're going to be a little bit more susceptible and Burrows could get going. But I think it's a great matchup for Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson is a floor play here with the ceiling. I mean, Burrows could throw for 4 touchdowns, but like, I think I'm locking in 2 scores from Richardson, whether one's on the ground or one's in the air. Pittman's props are way up. I'm going with Richardson here in a Joe Burrow has to reprove I'm going to make this change. There's a lot of questions you guys could have asked where I'd have been like, I'm with Tara. I'd be like, Burrow. But Anthony Richardson is the one where it's like, I think I would stick with him right now because I think this is a good matchup. It's not like one of them has a really bad matchup. It's just he's a stud. But that's me. Ryko, Kelly or Breece Hall, half PPR?
I will go Kelly. I don't like it, but I will.
It's my favorite questions. This is becoming one of my favorite things. And then Tara's like, dang. Like I like
I hate saying certain things
when it stings. I know because people like clip it and they're like, you said blah, blah, blah. Who did you go with? I'm sorry, Kelly or Breece?
Kelly. Ugh, Kelly.
I'm going to go with Breece on this one, but I don't feel good. I said it before. Kelly is a better back with Austin Eckler than he has been solo. So maybe it changes this game, but I'll go with Breece. All right. Mr. Fams, full PPR, Jerome Ford or Nico Collins?
I'm okay with going with Nico in full PPR.
Nico for me. Yes, absolute Nico for me. Jimmer, Miles Sanders, Pacheco or Achane, full flex PPR?
Do we have final confirmation on Miles Sanders yet, or are we still?
I saw a report that said he is good to go, but I don't know if there's been like the official drop yet. I'm right here. Ian Rappaport, this was 2 hours ago. Yeah, he's expected to play. So that's all that we have right now is he is expected to play.
Man, I was really hoping I could switch up some DFS lineups for for Chuba Hubbard. Sanders is the better matchup,
but they just might use more. They might use more Chuba in this one.
Yeah, and I get worried about his and especially a groin injury that screams snap count. I could go Achane over Sanders and Pacheco here. I could full PPR.
I think I'm going to do the same. I think I'm going to do the exact same. I don't want to because I am a Miles Sanders apologist, but just with like how they intertwine and get Chuba in there and him hurt a little. I think this is, like you said, this is more of a snap count thing. I think I might just, I don't know, go for the homer here. Go for Achane. Let's see if he really can take. I think he earned the ability to share and split the carries this week with Mostert. Whether he does anything with them, we'll see, but he's one of the fastest guys in football. So I'm going to go with Achane. I'm going to go with the home run play here. One take says, well, I think we got this, but Jerome Ford or James Conner. James Conner's got a rough matchup against the 49ers. I guess I don't want to be dismissive of it here, but neither of us, I don't think we picked Jerome Ford like once, but Ford or Conner?
It is Conner for me. I love James Conner. I will, 9 times out of 10, that's my RB2 right there. So
yeah, you can run a little bit on the 49ers too. If you get some offense going, the problem with the Cardinals is you're going to have to be able to pass it against the Niners, which then spreads those linebackers out, and then you can run a little bit. Connor's going to get volume. Ford, I just don't know. G-Man says Tutu Atwell or Tank Dell. So Tank Dell coming back in the questions.
This one is a really good question. I still lean towards Tank Dell, although I do agree with you that this is a Nico get right game for sure. But I still think that there will be enough volume for Tank Dell too. Tank Dell and Tutu are very similar right now. I just lean towards Dell a little bit more.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be dismissive of Tank in that like, oh, it's Nico, it's everything. The cool thing is I believe CJ Stroud is averaging 40 passes per game, 40 pass attempts per game. So there's a lot of volume to be spread around. The Steelers might slightly be a better team, and if they're up, there's more passing, and that's going to just be volume for all these guys. Schultz has not become a big target. I mean, you can get an easy 8 targets to all of the big wide receivers. I just think Nico is going to be a first option target. Tank might break a big one. I would go with Tank over Tutu in this instance. OG1 Kenobi, full PPR. Should I start Achane or Breida? Barkley downgraded to doubtful today. He put in there. So You talked about Breida with the volume. Does that do anything for you over Achan?
It does. If you need the safer floor option for sure, in your matchup, you're good. It's you don't want to take a big risk. You can't take a big risk there. Then go with Breida. If you're lower in points, maybe you face David Montgomery, and you need a high upside swing, then you can go with HM. But otherwise, it's Breida.
I'm going to go with Achan. I'm going to go with Achan full throttle here. Even though there is that volume play with Breida, this is the one. Like, I'm holding out hopes because I also have some shares, but I'm holding out hopes that like you're going to see 10 to 15 touches of Achan, and I'll take 10 to 15 Achan touches over 25 Breida touches literally every single day of my life. You guys are putting up some really tough questions. Like, as the chat gets on, this is what I love. You guys start rolling in. You guys are bringing up the really, really tough fantasy questions. And sometimes we're not always here for you to answer every single one of them. We can't live stream 24 hours, but Fantasy Pros can have you covered, where you can manage your fantasy football lineups and dominate your leagues with My Playbook. My Playbook is the suite of powerful tools that'll help make these decisions easier. You can manage your lineup and you can win your leagues. They're going to send you emails. I get it every single week, especially when I do something crazy, and they'll be like, "You sure about that?" Like, we need to get the Tim Robinson memes out here we need our boy Worm to get those in here. You sure? I just want, actually, that's a request I'm going to have. Can we get Tim Robinson's face to pop up on mine personally when I do something stupid? And it goes, "You sure about that?" And that's what essentially it does. It'll tell you, I don't know if you should do that. It gives you lineup suggestions across the board. You get it. So go and get it. Created by Fantasy Pros, the #1 fantasy football advice and tools provider in the world. The app is going to help you. You can import your teams. You can customize with news, rankings, analysis, sync all those leagues. FantasyPros.com/myplaybook. You can directly download it over at Apple or Android. Try to say that properly. I can't. Go and check it out today. My Playbook is pretty awesome. All right, Wesley, bench 1, full PPR. Waddle, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, or Puka Nacua. You got a bench one.
Oh my gosh.
Have fun with this, Tara. I'm not answering.
I mean, I think it has to be Waddle. But
really? Oh, I thought it had to.
I think so.
I was gonna say Puka. I didn't think it had to be Waddle.
No, I think this is I like this matchup for Puka. I feel strongly that we're getting a 20+ fantasy point game.
Let's look at the ranks here. We had Adams is 6, Lamb is 9, Puka is 10, and Waddle is 16. So according to the consensus rankers, they're going to agree with you. I don't know, man. In a shootout, like Waddle might be riskier, I suppose, but in a Dolphins shootout, it's like Hill and Waddle both for 120 in scores and all that. If you think it's going to be a shootout, Puka's volume guy didn't happen last week, probably gets adjusted. You know what? I wasn't thinking about this. Full PPR, it is Waddle. Half PPR, I think I might have stuck with Puka. Can definitely get those 10 catches. Okay, I'll do it. That hurts to do. We'll bench Waddle. Sorry, Wesley. It's a tough decision. Soul Kitchen, pick 2, PPR, Madison, Kamara, or Addison. So Madison, Kamara, Addison.
I'm okay with starting Kamara immediately. I'm fine with that. So it comes down between Madison and Addison for me. And I'll go with Addison. I struggle to trust Madison to repeat what he did last week. We got Cam Akers. They're going to give him a shot this week to, not that I think he's going to take over the backfield, but they're going to give him a chance to be active and, showcase a little bit. So maybe that little bit is what makes the difference between Madison and Addison.
You sound like a 2023 kindergarten. All right, where's Madison?
So
where's
cute.
Addison? Is there a Kamara? Where's Madison and Addison? That's what that is. I'm gonna bench Madison because he stinks, and it's gonna be Akers' job soon. So Matt says half PPR: Ford, Miles, Tank, Flex. I'm guessing pick 1. So. Boy, this one's stupid because this is all intertwined with all the guys we're like, I don't know. So what do you think?
These are all shaky for, like, I think I can get there with Ford for the potential volume increase for him with DTR at quarterback. I think I can get there.
Man, I'm gonna really pay attention. Like, I hate God, do I hate sitting Sanders in a situation like this where I don't like the other options as much, but I am so worried about that snap count. My gut says Sanders, but my brain says Jerome Ford. And then everybody else screams Tank Dell. So do with that with what you can. Mullet, full PPR, Pacheco, Godwin, or Zay Flowers.
I think that Godwin and Flowers' floor is the same today. I lean towards Godwin today because I do think that this might be a struggle game for Mike Evans.
I agree with you because it's full PPR. I do want to take Flowers in this instance, but I'm going to take Godwin. I was smirked a second ago because I saw the quintessential. I want one of these every single week. It's the, hey guys, full PPR. Which quarterback would you start? You know, you guys know it's my favorite. Fields or Purdy this week? Fields or Purdy? Remember, full PPR, Tara.
It makes a difference.
does.
It is Justin Fields for me. I'm not benching Justin Fields in this matchup. You got to give it this his mea culpa, his one game. This is it. This is our deciding factor right here versus Denver.
Yeah. You and I are like in a I think we might be some of the only people that are doing this with Fields because I've done quite a few shows this week, and there are only 2 Fields points this week. He's the worst thing that's ever existed, and he's going to be a top 8 ranked quarterback this week. And there's like really no in between. I think I'm going to agree with you on this, but Purdy is so much safer, and he might be a lock for 202 scores. So you have to determine how much more do you need out of that quarterback spot on your matchup this week. If it's a tight race, I do think I would stick with Purdy and the safety of it. If I'm going for a little bit of a home run call, I do think Fields provides that, especially with what he'll probably do on the ground. That might be a rushing touchdown and 80 yards rushing, and then we're praying to God he can get 150. And so, so it's like, I think the floor is there with Purdy, but there is an upside play with Fields. So I don't mean to have my foot half in and half out, but I do think that's how I would approach that. Any type of safety close matchup, I want Purdy. If I'm trying to swing for the fences, I would go Fields a little bit. Brady says pick one: Pickens, Swift, Flowers, Judy, full PPR. Thanks and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, Brady.
This one is tough. I want to go with Pickens. It's not the best matchup in the world, but again, he has been, he is the massive target share within that offense now with Deontay out. So I lean that direction of him finding a way regardless. I could be persuaded to Swift though.
I'm Swift. That offensive line. It's too much. Swift looks good. I do worry about the share that's going on with Gainwell and Swift, but Swift just continuously looks good every single week. So I'm going to go with him. Maybe they pass the ball to him a little bit. They make just big, giant, semi-truck holes in the offensive line against their defensive lines. So I'm going to go with Swift in this instance, but Pickens is a close number 2. I want to agree with that. Let's see. Neo, the one. Achan or Madison, half PPR.
Achan.
Madison State. Shannon, happy football Sunday. Fantasy Pros need flex help starting Gibbs. Pick 2 starting. Jahmyr Gibbs. Pacheco or Flowers for flex.
Oh, after starting. Yeah. So you
the question screwed me up.
Potential hole there. Yeah, potential hole there with Gibbs. I would go with Flowers. Again, you got the target share there. You know that, it's solid probably 10 that he's going to see, and you just cross your fingers that despite the difficult matchup, that the touchdown comes as well. So that's your upside play.
I didn't realize, we're kind of anti Pacheco. We have literally been but I agree with you here. I think this is Zay Flowers. There's nothing else in this offense. Get Zay Flowers the ball. This would be a great treat him like Debo type of game. Throw him screen passes, do end around, just get him 10 touches in this game. I'm just not feeling Pacheco a whole lot in this game. I think, they've used a lot of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Even if they get up, they go to him. They're throwing the ball to McKinnon. Pacheco's fine, but I think that's it. He's just fine. I think Zay Flowers is more upside.
Yeah. I just hate the matchup. If just nothing about that screams that it's going to be a strong day for Pacheco, who I typically love, but I can't. Can't get there.
Sorry, Bogman. No Pacheco for me. Hey, you guys can check out the NFL contest today over at Betting Pros. Users can join the group by visiting a community tab in the Betting Pros app, or you can go directly bettingpros.com/NFL contest. The contest has weekly and season-to-date leaderboards with prizes. If you want to do the weekly, you just got to have a minimum of 5 NFL picks to qualify. And on the season, you got to have 100 NFL picks. One grand prize winner is going to win a Jackson Smith and Jigba autographed jersey. And we're going to have numerous weekly and monthly prizes where you're going to receive swag from the Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros shop. I'm actually a very company man today. I got the Betting Pros hat I'm wearing on. I got the Fantasy Pros shirt on. So go and do that. Join the NFL group contest and win some swag, win some cool stuff. See, Fantasy Pros shirt. It's a pretty slick shirt. The hat messes with my camera, but it looks too good, so I got to wear it. So go and check it out today. All right. Krull, the warrior princess. Morning. This is how Krull sounds. And even though it's a princess. Morning, pros. Happy Sunday. Full PPR, Lockett or Puka. P.S. It's great to see and hear more of you on the podcast lately, Tara. That's
Krull, the warrior
warrior
princess.
princess.
This was one of my favorite commenters from last year. Because first of all, the name, right? One of my favorite. One of my favorite movies too. So yes. Puka. Good to see you too. Good to see you back.
Easy Puka. Easy Puka. Yeah, good to see you too. Thank you for all the love for me too. Brian says, number 1, Kyron or Zach Moss PPR? So that's the first question.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember off the top of my head which one I had. Kyron, yeah.
I think you have Kyron higher. Yeah.
Super close though.
It is close. Zach Moss, a huge volume. And you know what's even cooler? Jonathan Taylor might never play for that team. He's still like, I don't want to play. The window's about to open up this coming week, and he still doesn't want to play. If he gets traded, even though that's sad, it's great for Zach Moss because they have been big old volume for him. So he might continue to be very, very fantasy viable and a great league winning type of pickup early in the year. Number 2, Stevenson, Sanders, Addison, half PPR. So I guess pick 1 or no, pick 2. Yeah. It does say, it says number 2, pick 2. So we really eliminate one of these, Sanders, Stevenson, or Addison. Why is it Ramondre Stevenson that we're eliminating?
Because we were told that the Cowboys would be eliminating him today. No, not eliminating, but putting his workload down. Yeah, I hate that. Ugh, but Sanders and Addison.
Yeah, I don't trust Stevenson right now. Jinx, Tua, Fields, Stroud. What is this? -2 points per sack or turnover. So the sack is, I mean, that makes it a little bit different. That's Tua so we're going to go with here, but as 1, I guess. Oh, I guess it's only pick 1. Ugh, you lose points on the being sacked by the defensive player. I'm going to be very careful how I'm saying this. Are you going to pick anybody with Tua here?
No, I'm going with Tua. I get it though, why that's a question, because Stroud would probably be, I love fun, like weird turnover stats or points for quarterback leagues. Stroud is definitely the safest option here, but Tua, I get it because, we had 4 interceptions for Buffalo's defense last week, but still Tua.
Yeah, Fields might score negative points. He might have scored negative points all year too. That's crazy one.
We got to pivot. That's my one pivot. Like I've been saying, Fields to everything in this format. No.
Yeah, no. With turnout, I mean, he literally he might pass for 100 yards and have negative 8 points. Breece Hall or Josh Kelly?
I'm okay with going with Josh Kelly here.
I'm fine with it. I suppose there's a little bit more volume. I actually think they're pretty close. Yeah. Breece is the big play home run shot, and neither one of these are great though. So we will be shortly moving into lightning round. So if you had questions, I'd always remind you guys to be in the chat early. I know if you guys hang out on the chats before with Pisapia and whichever great Fantasy Pros character he has got with him, you can load up the chat. This is the same instance. I don't know if we're going to get to the more recent questions, but we're going to start plowing through them. But before we do, Don, pick 2 half PPR, Jerome Ford, Joe Mixon, Jerry Jeudy, Jacoby Myers, or Zay Flowers. Pick 2.
Whew. Mixon and Myers.
Mixon and half PPR. I'm kind of stuck on this one. I could go Ford or Myers or Zay Flowers. I think they're all the same. That's why you're asking the question. I'll go with Mixon I'll go with Myers just because you're going to get probably 7 catches, 80 yards. I mean, that's a good floor play. I guess these are both kind of floor plays here. Zay Flowers is my home run hitter for the day. Half PPR, who should I start at flex? Judy, Davis, Tank Dell, or Palmer? I'm guessing Gabe. Okay, yeah. Gabe, Tank, Palmer, Judy.
Oh, you're testing me here in my love for Josh Palmer.
Me too. Let's just go together. Like here, put out your hand. Well, we're gonna hold hands together, and then we're gonna go. Palmer. We're gonna go off into the sunset. We're gonna go Josh Palmer together. Let's do it. Okay, good team. All right, lightning round. Achon, Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
100%. This one's not easy. Roll out Kelly or Roshan Johnson, full PPR.
Kelly.
Yes, Kelly. Full PPR, Kamara or James Cook. That's from the Dan Levely show.
James Cook.
James Cook, but I'm probably going to play Kamara anytime touchdown this week, so I feel dirty about that.
Like it.
2 running backs and a full flex PPR, Swift, Stevenson, Mixon, Pickens, and or Ayuk. So we got to pick 2 running backs out of Swift, Stevenson, Mixon, which is Swift and Mixon. And then our one flex, we can now pick Stevenson, Ayuk, or Pickens. I pick Ayuk.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Travis, Sanders, Achane, or Stevenson, full PPR.
Achane.
Achane. Yeah, I agree with you. I'd say Achane. All right, full PPR. Rashad White or Jerry Jeudy? We go Rashad White. Yeah, we're starting to build into this. We've already had this. I like this one. Zach Williams or Karen Williams? Not gonna go with Karen. We'll go with Zach over Karen, but Kyron would also take it. Ramondre or Zeke in full PPR? You guys are dirty.
I'm still going. I can't start Zeke. I'm still going with Ramondre.
Zeke is 100% scoring a touchdown today against his old team.
He is.
I'm going to go with Zeke. I want to go with Zeke on this one. I feel gross. This will be I don't feel good about that one. Flex, Pacheco or Gabe Davis?
Gabe Davis.
Pacheco. I'll finally do it. Pittman or Nico? We're going Pittman. All Pittman questions, unless it's Ayuk, goes to Pittman. Flex 1. Holy God. Pierce, Roshan, Warren, Godwin, DJ Moore, Mims, Josh Downs. I would suggest to everybody, we can pare these down a little bit. Like Josh Downs doesn't need to be in the same one as like Godwin. I get what you're doing, but we could pare these down a little bit. So if you're going to flex one, who are you flexing?
Yeah, I'm sticking with my guns on DJ Moore. I've seen a lot of Josh Downs today. People are coming around.
I'll go with you on that one. Godwin or Hopkins?
Godwin.
Well, we can't do that one. That one's going on. Someone said Kirk or London. You're
London.
You're about 5 hours too late. Yeah, it's not going to be London. I think Kirk already has 8 for 84. So the answer is going to be Christian Kirk on that one. Just checking in. Bijan over 100 also has 32 receiving. Thank you very much. And Kyle Pitts has 21 yards. So that is done. Didi, let me guess where I am because we're just going lightning round. We're going to just start picking random ones here. Let's see. Swift, Dell, Achane, or Ayuk. Pick 2. That's Swift and Ayuk.
Yeah, Swift and Ayuk.
Okay. Did we answer this one? Pittman or Palmer? It's got to be Pittman. But
no, we haven't. But yeah, Pittman.
Okay. Terry McLaurin or Jerry Jeudy? Half PPR.
Oh, Jerry Jeudy.
I feel like we've answered this one. Pick one, Nico, Evans, or Jeudy. Maybe we haven't.
No, I don't think so. But I would do Nico. Yeah.
I would go with Nico as well. Tutu or Thielen? You love Thielen this week, so it's got to be Thielen.
I do.
I don't love him, but I'd still pick Thielen. I'd still pick him in this one. Javonte, Achane, or Kyron. Pick 2. So who are we dumping off? Are we dumping Javonte or Achane is the question.
If you, it's a floor ceiling thing. If you're down, go with Achane. If you need a good floor, go with Javonte.
Here's an interesting question. Should I trade Achane for Jacobs in a league? That's what Confucius say. Should I trade?
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. It's Josh Jacobs. It's still Josh Jacobs. We're good. We're good, guys. Pick 2, Kamara, Henry, Mostert, Stevenson. Kamara and Henry for me.
Kamara and Mostert. It's tough not to do Mostert, but yeah, I would do Kamara and Henry.
It's full PPR.
Well, no. Henry and Mostert for me, actually.
Henry, you're gonna dump Kamara?
Yeah.
Full PPR?
Yeah. First game back.
That's true. Gabe Davis or Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper.
Okay, we're still lightning round, everybody. We got 5 minutes, 5-minute warning here. I'm going to start like scrolling through the list so I can try to get to some. Someone said Tank Dell or Kyron. Come on, it's Kyron. We're going to go Kyron here. Let's see. We are getting similar questions. Cooper or Pickens?
Cooper.
Half PPR. I think this is easy. Debo or Waddle? This is going to be Waddle still.
Yeah, I'd still go with Waddle.
Okay. This next one is not crazy. This is the stuff that Joe was saying. Half PPR, Garrett Wilson or Tank Dell? That's from Caleb.
I still prefer Tank Dell. I know, I get it, but I mean, Kansas City is no slouch of a matchup. This could be very ugly.
I'm going to go with Garrett here. I'm going to go with Garrett just simply because I have to. I don't trust Tank Dell that much. He's got to get involved. But you know what? Garrett Wilson might be the new Kyle Pitts, where we look and we're like, come on, we got to keep going. And then it's just like, you can never justify actually starting him. We're getting very, very close to that. Austin said, really need your guys' help. Deshaun Watson's out. Should I keep Amari in my flex or swap for Lockett or Javonte Williams?
I'm okay with swapping him for Lockett. I'm okay with that for safety.
I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna just keep him in here. Yeah. Safety net, go to there. I think either one of those are probably viable options. If you're really worried, probably go with what Tara said with Lockett. Full PPR, Puka, Brown, Marquise Brown, Higgins, or Zay Flowers. So Puka paired with Higgins, Flowers, or Brown. Which one?
Puka with Higgins. Like this for a bounce back.
I'll go with Higgins, but I want to tell you Zay Flowers. So you just take that how you want to. Let's see. Mike Evans, Jordan Addison, or Tutu. Pick 2. Eliminate 1. Eliminate Tutu.
Yeah, I'm still going to start Mike Evans. Yeah, Mike Evans and Addison.
Okay. You guys are killing me in the questions. Russell Wilson or Burrow? Sad I'm asking this, Ozzy says.
This is the Joe Burrow get right game. Roll him out.
Yep. Yeah, we're now getting into same question territory for a lot of these. Okay, here we go. Zson said Flowers or Garrett Wilson. It's more of a, I think, you question.
I will go with Flowers on that one.
Yes, it is. It is Flowers. That's right. Travis says Miles Sanders, Pickens, Godwin, Stevenson, full PPR, pick 2. Pickens and Godwin.
Pickens and Godwin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pickens and Godwin. Roshan or Amari Cooper, standard league.
Yeah, even still, so Amari Cooper.
Still Amari. Pick 2, Hopkins, DJ Moore, Madison, Gabe Davis, full PPR.
I still go with DJ and then Hopkins.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. Malik says Zach Moss, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. That's a pretty good one.
Oh man, I can't lightning round that because Derrick Henry.
That's where you're going to sit?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, it says start.
It's start 2.
Start 2.
Moss,
oh, okay.
Kamara.
Who am I sitting then?
One.
Kamara.
Yeah,
one. Then I'm sitting Kamara.
Oh, I got to start Kamara this week. I'm going to sit Moss. That's probably dumb. I can't go against Derrick Henry or anything like that. All right. One more. How appropriate. Achane, Mostert, Tank Dell for flex. Half PPR.
Mostert.
You know what? I'm going to say it all. You said it so sweet, too. I'm going to go Achane. I'm going to go with Achane. I'm going to go with Achane in this one. So Tank can kick rocks. He can get out of here. You guys don't have to kick rocks. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. But you can go over to Betting Pros. We've got some Betting Pros action going on. If you want to get all your bets set, I suggest you go jump over to the channel and get set for all that action because it should be mighty, mighty fun. You can find Tara on Twitter at It's Tara Time, me at Is It The Welsh. Thank you to everybody that has hung out with us and answered all of your questions. Hopefully, we got you guys set. And remember, if you need to feed that wild side, go and check out Jack Link's protein snacks, jacklinks.com, or just go to a local retailer. Thanks to them for sponsoring the episode. That's it. Thank you to our boy John producing. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back again next week for more questions. I will be back later tonight if you guys want to hang out on the channel, recapping everything that's going down with Scott Bogman. That is it. Good luck. Let's go watch some London football that started at 5 a.m., everybody. For Tara, I'm Welsh. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll talk to you next time right here on Fantasy Pros. Peace.